What's going on, boys and girls? I hope you are having the most fantastic, blessed day of your life today. I'm going to shoot off a quick video today, what to do when you get caught in a rut. You feel like you have no momentum going on in your life. I got asked this twice today under a tweet. Ty, just feel like I'm in a rut. How do I get out of it? Could you write a thread on that? And I replied, sometimes it takes me 2-3 weeks to get the time to write a thread, but I can pop off one of these YouTube videos in like 8 minutes. So you're getting a YouTube video, guys. So I do have a pretty cool process, I think, that helps me get out of ruts. This is something that along my self-improvement journey, I really took a deep dive and looked at. Momentum is such a big thing, and I was an all or nothing person for a really long time. I was either working out twice a day and really getting after it and eating perfect, or like I just go on these really terrible downward spirals where for months at a time, even years sometimes, I wasn't working out once. I wasn't doing anything positive. I was drinking constantly, eating terrible food, no movement, no sunlight, none of these positive things. I'd kind of do the same thing in my faith. I'd either, be really on fire and, I couldn't wait to get to church, or dude, I wasn't going, And so when you get stuck in some of these lower spots, oftentimes they're not even your fault. Sometimes you can have, a sick kid, you can have, you're sick yourself, and you kind of get in these little spirals that are just off your routine. And then what happens is it snowballs, and it's I've been doing bad for a few days anyway, so I might as well just binge this weekend and we'll start fresh Monday. Well, you know what? We've already ruined this month. We'll start fresh the next month. Well, New Year's is coming. I might as well I'll wait and do the New Year's resolution. And then what often happens is that cycle continues to perpetuate where, often you're eating terrible food, which makes you feel worse. Then you feel worse, so you eat terrible food again. Then you don't move because you feel worse, and then this cycle keeps going. So how to break free of that when you find yourself kind of on that low end of the spectrum, not feeling great, kind of on autopilot. Okay, how do I shift back and start to stack a few wins? You've been going this way for a long time in the wrong direction. How do we pump the brakes and start to move back little steps this way? So I got 4 steps that I do, and a bonus step for fellow Christians and believers that has been served me really well through my life. So these last few years. So I kind of want to get into that today. So first step, and this one's really cool, and it's something that I've just taken in many areas of my life, but the first one I do is just pause. I always say there's power in the pause. So many times in life and the way society is now, we're being pulled in a million different directions. I mean, anybody who's a parent, definitely. Dude, you got kids crying. One needs a poop, one needs a snot, one needs this, one needs that. The daughter wants to show you the homework. It's all great stuff, but it's all happening at the same time. Everybody wants your attention. On top of that, you got social media, you got all work, you got all these things, right? So I think there's much power in the pause. So when I find myself on this lower tier, like the momentum's not going in my favor, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some deep breaths, and I'm going to pause. I'm going to go to a quiet spot without my phone, with nothing there. Take 10, 20, 30 deep breaths and just remind myself. I put my hand over my heart often, and I remind myself, feel that beat? You know what that means, baby? You know what that means? It means I got life. We're not out of the game yet. Like, I can make the next choice. Just to remind myself, I can control my thoughts. I'm not a passenger in life. I can take the driver's seat right now. So that's what that pause means to me. Just becoming very mindful and aware that it doesn't matter how many bad steps I've taken this way, I can pump the brakes right now. I can choose to go back. And so that's step 1, power in the pause. Step 2, this is a big thing for me. I review gratitude. And anybody who's followed me or knows me or friends with me for a long time knows for about almost 4 years now, every single morning I wake up and I start the morning by journaling gratitude. So this is a cheat code for me. It's trained my brain to see the good, and it's something I'd recommend for everybody. But so what I do is I just think of the blessings I have. I just tell myself, man, you're the most blessed guy in the world. You got kids that love you, a wife that loves you, you got a God that loves you, you got a warm home, you got a great bed, a warm shower, you got a car, you got water, all these blessings, man. My hands work, my feet work, I can walk, I can talk. There's a million blessings. And so when we shift our mind from what we lack, which is what's stressing us usually, to what we have and what we're grateful for, that's a big superpower right there. And you just change that around. And so I take a minute to just kind of be mindful of that. So power in the pause, think of gratitude and blessings. You can write those out too. The third one, I'm just going to jot 3 or 4 easy wins that I can knock down. Now, what this doesn't look like is, I want to make $1 million. I want to get a 6-pack. I want to, these are not the goals you should be setting. When you feel on this low spectrum and when you want to set these goals, what you want to say is chug a water. I want to make my bed. I want to stretch for 5 minutes. I want to put one awesome praise song on and and think of all the blessings I have. I want to write down 10 things I'm grateful for. I want to call a relative or a mom or dad or grandma or grandpa and just have a great conversation, tell them how grateful I am for them, because life is rigged and it's a cheat code to know that if you make somebody else feel better, in turn, it's going to make you feel better. So stack these very small wins, and I mean very small. Again, chugging a water, anybody can do that. Take a 10-minute, 15-minute walk. Anybody can do that. Write down 10, 15 things you feel blessed and grateful for. Anybody can do that. The point of this is we're turning that, what's been going back this way, we're pumping the brakes and we're just starting to move back this way. Get the momentum going. Get the ball rolling back forward. So that's a big, big, powerful thing. Number 4 is just take a moment to kind of visualize these wins. And this is a big one here. You just need to pause again a moment and just, okay, I wrote down chug a water. I'm going to picture myself go pour that water and chug it. Then I write down 10 things I'm grateful for. I'm going to picture myself writing that down. I told myself I'm going to take a 10, 15-minute walk. I'm going to picture myself doing that walk. Maybe I'm going to get 50 push-ups. I'm going to picture myself doing that, right? Then you spring up like a man or woman possessed, and you go do these things, and you attack, and you start to get that momentum back on your side, stacking those wins. All of a sudden, man, you're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling alive. You're feeling energetic. You're feeling like, okay, I can do these things. It's not overwhelming. I broke it down in these small, manageable pieces. Conquered these 4 or 5 things. Now let's get another 3 or 4 things down. Let's start stacking wins and start getting that momentum in our favor. So those are the 4 things that I do that really has taken, I used to have these month-long periods of ruts, and now I can snap out of that. And if I find myself languishing a day or 2, I can go to that process and it really sparks me back out of that. Another cheat code, and this one's for Christians only, so you can turn me off if you don't identify as a fellow believer. But this is huge, man. My man Eddie Lowen out there. I love this guy, lead preacher, Westside Christian Church, arguably my first mentor. I love this man. He had this saying that you can't worship and worry at the same time. And so praise music to me is the ultimate cheat code. Now, maybe you're not a believer and I don't know what this means, but man, if you are a believer and you know the power and the power of the Spirit in you, you fire on some praise music and then you start this process. You raise your hands, maybe you dance, maybe you sing, maybe you thank God for everything He's given you. You start it with this process or you end with this process. It is the ultimate cheat code. I swear, you feel those chains fall off. You feel Him come in that presence around you, and that's the biggest thing. One of my heroes of the Bible, I think everybody's hero is Paul. And one of the verses I always go back to when I'm really starting to languish or have a pity party, feel sorry for myself, I don't have the momentum going, is I look back at the story of Paul, and he's in a Roman prison. And when I read this story, and Paul writes, I have joy, I have inner joy. My circumstances don't determine how I'm doing in life. He's in a Roman prison. Now, that's not like a Martha Stewart type prison that Paul is in, man. I researched what a Roman prison is. They're not doing yoga and tennis like Martha Stewart, and these people that go to these rich people prisons. He was probably likely chained 24 hours a day in a very dark kind of dungeon place, maybe being fed once a day. No sunlight, no anything. And yet he describes himself as the most joyful, blessed person in the world. And why is that? Because he's got Jesus in him, man. And so that's the ultimate cheat code, too, to get out of these things. So that's my get out of a rut kind of speech right there. I hope that helps somebody. Maybe somebody has a takeaway. If you guys have any other tips, fire them down in the comments section below. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, as that helps quite a bit. I'm putting up content here 2-3 times a week, and that's my goal, continue moving forward. If you have tips or something you want to see on another video, please let me know. And outside of everything, man, you guys just go have the blessed day, most blessed day of your life. Pour into people, be kind, love yourself, give yourself that same grace you give to other people often. Let's go change the world with kindness and love, baby. Much love. Get after it.